It's time to get turned up. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Tekken World Tour presented by Cup Noodles. We're here at DreamHack Denver. I'm here with Mr. Aris, avoiding the puddle. How's it going?
You stole the words right out of my hind end, Mark. I'm ready. I'm ready to roll.
How you guys doing? I went to Denver, Colorado over the weekend.
Thank you.
So I guess you're wondering, I had a really good steak. You know, I figured you gotta get steak in Denver, right? It's like a cowboy town. So we went to this fancy place that Besteban picked, and there were like stained glass windows, and the chairs were made out of they were like throne room chairs, and they had like cow hide on them or something. And I was like, fuck it, let me go for a steak. I got a bone-in ribeye. It was really good. It was very good. Fancy place. You know, the water tasted good. It was a good choice. That's for sure.
These two guys, I think these two guys stand out as the two best easily.
They're both very strong.
This should be a
strong.
treat, man. I've been waiting this whole time for this. I flew over to Denver to watch this, so I'm excited, man. I'm
Glad
turned
you're
up.
hyped.
I was kind of like disappointed that, well, I don't know if I should say disappointed, but yeah, I guess that's the word that came out, right? I was surprised that JimmyJ beat Anakin so easily. Because in my mind, I know how good of an opponent, or a player, I should say, Anakin is, right? And that's just about as bad as it was the last time they fought. So I really thought it would be a different story, but it almost feels like that matchup, it's like happening the way it would on paper. And that's not normally what happens with Jack.
And then we get a taunt set up afterwards.
Wow, that could have killed
Yep,
if he had hit
yeah,
confirmed.
it confirmed it.
Not a good start for Anakin, but he's waking up a bit.
He's
Fighting
trying to
back.
put something together.
Okay,
Nice
so
usage
sealing
of
the
that
deal.
short string.
I mean, I'm not saying it because I wish Anakin won. I'm saying it because it was like really a blowout. He cleaned up that mistake, and I guess he won a game, right? But I don't know. It didn't feel. It feels like JimmyJ is really working the knowledge in that matchup. Like, he's really going for the optimal shit, and he makes it happen, right? It's really fucked up that he's hitting those jet uppercut. I mean, that's the way it should be. Jet uppercut to punish down forward 2 from Jack is like right there. On paper, it's like, oh, fuck. Every time you block a down forward 2 from Jack as Brian, you're supposed to get this giant punish. Super buff. And the only thing that makes that fair is that punish is really tight. Really tight. 14 frames, and you have to do the command forward back 2 perfectly, right? Then you add in tournament. Then you add in POS 4, right? So you're adding all these things in there. So it makes it like, okay, it's no longer on paper. We're in a real world scenario, right? So he shouldn't be hitting those every time. And all you really need to do is hit a couple of those for it to really hurt in a tournament setting. And he was hitting those, you know, not to mention everything else he was doing well. So it was like, it was crazy how he was making it seem like we were watching the matchup on paper. Because that should be a blowout match, if you ask me. Jack versus Brian on paper. And that's the way it went down. It was kind of, I don't know. I guess it went down the way it's supposed to go down mathematically.
Oh my god, and he
that's
gets
it.
the hit. Wow, what a dominant performance. For the most part, the only mistakes I saw out of Anakin were those two, and that's enough. Again, you make two huge mistakes
combo,
like
and
that.
they were both combo drops too, which is pretty critical. Instead of him getting like his Oki, instead Jimmy gets out with less
Not
damage.
only did he miss out on his damage and his Oki, but Jimmy knew exactly the right thing to do in that situation to steal the round and ruin his Christmas. That was rough. That was
tough.
rough.
Despite that, Anakin did take the second
You're
game,
right.
and Jimmy was again really strong in the third game, 3-0 performance.
No round Brown.
That's not usually what you get from Anakin or even Jack. And then Joey Fury, right after that, he gave JimmyJ a pretty good run for his money, right? With the same character. So, interesting. What's the deets on naps and the stage select thing? Well, for those of you who think that that's not a real thing, you can end that right there. I can confirm that way back from Tekken 6, people were visually selecting their stage. And you can practice that. So, you know when you go to stage select, I mean, I don't even have to go to it, right? But you know when you go to stage select and it's cycling through the stages, it's not randomly cycling through the stages. It's going in order. It's looping in order through all the stages. So if you open your eyes and if you're sharp enough, you can at least get within a probability. It's like one of those ticket redemption games, right? And that's exactly how it works. I mean, it's not a coincidence that this guy got the smallest stage every time, and he's a Brian player, and he's got, you know, the skills necessary to at least get within the probability of landing the stage he wants, right? And, you know, if I don't know, I didn't ask him about this, but I'm sure the reason he picks that specific stage is also not only because it's small, but in the cycle of stages, as it cycles through stages, the ones next to that stage are also probably small stages. So he's getting within the probability of a window of small stages. I mean, it's like, that's just the way it is. And then there's all these rules about random select every time, right? Shimon. I mean, it's true. I'm telling you for a fact, that's how it works. It's been that way since Tekken 6.
Oh my god.
Did he get it again?
Yes, he did. He did get it
This
again.
is cheating. This is cheating. He can
He
select
even thumbs
his
up
stage.
after you press the button.
He
You
can
press the button, he
select
thumbs up.
his stage.
Can he really? Or is that?
No,
or,
I'm not-
you're right. There's no way that it's
Okay,
happened
look,
that many times in a row. He got
all
it like
joking
5
aside,
times in a row.
you could do that in Tekken 6 guaranteed, and I think you can in this game too. If you have the timing on the stage select, you can
do it.
select your stage. There's no question about it. This isn't like, you know, we don't need to light a candle here. JimmyJ
Okay.
knows what he's doing. He lives on this stage. He likes the watermelons. He likes the bongs in the corner. You know it. He practices all day. This is his stage. Let's see if he can get the win on his stage. Joey Fury doesn't give an S.
I mean, he's also super good, but rules are rules, man. I mean, they make the rules, so then as long as you're within the rules, you're good to go.
So as far as qualification requirements, these players who are in the winner's bracket, all 4 of them are already qualified. Anakin is qualified at 25 points. B-Kicks has 315, I believe. JimmyJ Tran already qualified. Joey Fury already
They're
qualified.
guaranteed in.
They guys are fighting for a bigger piece of the prize pool at this point. Now, everyone else who's in loser's bracket has a chance to qualify, but even Crespo, who's currently not in attendance, actually does have a chance to qualify. He's most dependent on Spirogen, who's the closest to him in the points ranking. But basically, if Spirogen does not have a good performance, and Obscura, Jay Chantra, and Jackie Chan, all the guys in losers, if they have a poor performance, he will be in. Spirogen actually has the best chance of everyone in attendance. He can either get 3rd or better to flat out win, or he can get 4th place while basically beating the rest of the guys in the losers bracket.
Man, you were up all night doing homework
Dude,
while I was
checking out
sleeping
all
like
this
a
stuff.
baby. Wow,
So Jackie
spooky.
Tran needs 3rd place or better. He has no other chance. He has to get 3rd.
Okay.
Jay Chantra, same thing, has to get 3rd or better.
Interesting.
And Obscure also must get 3rd or better.
So there are a ton of possible timelines here that really
Now-
make this viscous.
Jackie Chan actually was the one that saved himself
Jackie
the most.
Chan?
Jackie Tran, I'm sorry. Whoa, I'm bringing back the old stuff. My
Getting
bad. Jackie
hype.
Tran, he actually had the best. He saved himself the best
Yeah.
because he only has, I think, 5 or 10 points. If he actually had 0 points coming into this, the only way he could make it would be by like winning or something like that.
So
But,
he's all right. He needs
he
3rd
saved
place
himself
or better.
So
Yeah,
that's a good
really
chance.
interesting.
So
I mean,
the
we'll
losers
see.
bracket obviously will be the most important as far as qualifications, but
The
it's
winner's
gonna be
side
like-
is going to be, you know, for the dollary dues, right?
Exactly.
Obviously. And, you know, these are also matchups that we haven't seen, as we said, you know, for a while. So the winner's side's that. The loser's side is where everyone's got their heart
They're-
on a sleeve and people are going to be...
Someone's got. I mean, only one
Butthurt.
guy out of those 4 in losers can even qualify.
Right.
And again, there's totally a possibility that none of them will qualify,
Yeah.
and Crespo will just get the
Yeah,
spot.
that's crazy, right?
So, Crespo, if you happen to be watching at home, buen hecho, bro, because you made it. You're in. Unfortunately, everyone else got bopped.
Buenas noches, amigo. Nice work. I'll see you next month, compadre. Congrats.
Crespo getting in is super shitty. Why? I think that's kind of a cool... I mean, I hope he can come. That's the thing I'm worried about. People started, like, rumoring that maybe he can't come, even though he made it for one reason or another. I don't know whether it's related to... I don't know what it could be, but I heard that maybe he can't come. It would be cool. You know what's crazy about these tournaments? I have to say, the best part about these tournaments is these fucking guys that run the stream. It's like they've gotten so good at running these streams now that I'm thinking to myself, this is so fucking easy, right? I mean, someone tweeted at me and said some shit like, hey, nice, thanks for all the hard work or whatever, right? And that really is what, like, it just made me think about how little work it feels like when the crew, all the guys involved are just so good at this shit now. They just don't even break a sweat. They're just like, oh yeah, you gotta do this, or you're on. 30 seconds, we're going live. Boom, it's like so smooth. All you gotta do is put a smile on your face and get turned up.
Thank you.
It's really awesome. Really awesome. Because I've been doing commentary long enough where if your crew is trash, your job is, you hear me sometimes talking about like, oh damn, they gotta do small talk for the next, 5 minutes, right? Did you guys hear me doing too much small talk? Hell no. And that's because the crew sorted their shit out and they know exactly what they're doing. No small talk, no bullshit. Matches. You know what I mean? Small talk sucks, dude, on commentary. Because it's like, you can make it feel natural, right? But no matter what, it's not natural. You gotta be, small talk for a commentator it feels just like it does watching a stream and waiting for the match. You just want to watch the match. What the fuck is taking so long? The chat room, the way they express themselves, that's the natural way you feel when you're waiting for some shit like that. Technical difficulties, you feel that way too. Hurry the fuck up. That's what I want to say, right? Small talk sucks ass. And I didn't feel like I had to do much of it. That's one of the worst things about commentary, small talk and technical difficulties. But that was pretty easy. Another thing that sucks about commentary is doing like time to talk about some ads. You know that shit that Sajam is so good at? He'll be like saying, "Oh, this is that was an excellent decision by Smug there. And speaking of excellent decisions, check out this fucking headphone or buy this stick bag or whatever, right?" So those kinds of ads are, to me, trash, right? Half the time the slide comes up on screen and you're like, what the fuck is this? And then you gotta scramble and like look around and read, and it's like, okay, then you're reading like an idiot and everyone can fucking read. So what are you even doing it for, right? Why don't you just let them read? Anyway, I'm not good at that shit, right? It's not my area of expertise. But on the bright side, the only sponsor was the Cup Noodles. And look, these Cup Noodle guys, say what you will, but they're sick enough to have their own commercials that are at least entertaining enough to keep these fucking stoners, glued to the screen. Good enough. It's better than that dubstep shit they got going on for all those dumb monitor commercials, right? Cup of noodles. I mean, whatever, man. It's at least, and also I don't have to talk about it, which is great. I mean, all you gotta do is thanks Cup of Noodles for being a sponsor, which is exactly how I feel. The rest is done by their own advertising team, which is sick. That's the way it should be, man. What else? I don't remember anything else. I mean, everything was cool. I guess it was kind of, other than what you guys saw, not much happened for me because I spent a lot of time watching Cops and sleeping. I watched a lot of Cops. I don't watch TV at home, ever. I don't even have it. So I was pretty fascinated with it while I was there. I watched Law and Order SVU. Man, that show is like all fucking build up and no payoff. The whole time that shit was getting hype, and then they find the guy and it's like, whatever, end of the show. Like, damn, fuck. But I liked watching Cops. I was pretty fascinated by commercials.
Thank you.
You know, that's just how it goes when you haven't watched TV in a long time.
Thank you.
I love Cops. It's one of my favorite shows. Were there hella stoners in Denver? Are you kidding me? It's like the stoner capital of the world. But, you know, they were pretty, there was more of them than you. There aren't enough bullets in my lawgiver to get them all. So you kind of had to, like, you know, be among them, right? You know, just pretend like you're a stoner zombie and just be like, oh, you know, yeah, all right, you know, smoke weed, you know? And they didn't know anything of it. You just slip right by them. You know what I mean?